I'm Russ Bedner, owner-operator of Bedners Farm and Greenhouse in Cecil. I'm here today with my wife Melanie, and we're here to talk about container gardening.
There are many ways to plant a container garden, not just one particular way. So really, any kind of mix of plants is gonna work. It's just what your style is and what you like. The following are gonna be some general guidelines on how to construct a container garden, but you really have freedom to, use your imagination and express your creativity.
So the first thing you want to do is pick a pot. We have a few examples here. There's certain ones that fit over a railing, certain ones that just stand alone on the patio or porch. But you can also use anything that you find around the house. You can use flea market finds. The key point to that is to make sure that you have a drainage hole in the bottom of it so the water can escape. So the second step is to pick your potting mix. We use and recommend Pro Mix. It's a very good mix. It has mycorrhizae, which is a beneficial fungus for the roots. It also has 9 months worth of fertilizer and some water crystals to retain your water. You get what you pay for, so don't always go for the cheaper stuff. One of the most important parts of choosing your plants for your containers is knowing what type of sunlight you have on your patio or porch, or for a hanging basket. So the way we judge the different types of sunlight is morning sun is like a part sun plant would be morning sunlight until about noon or 1 o'clock, and then afternoon sun would be from noon on, or at least 5 to 6 hours of afternoon sun.
Once you figure out what kind of sunlight you get, then you can go ahead and start picking plants. And a general way to figure out what kind of plants to use, there's 3 sort of types, or how they grow. The thriller, the filler, and the spiller. You don't have to mix a thriller, filler, and spiller, but it's just a general idea that if you want to do that, you can put the thriller in the middle, put a filler around on the outside. I think even probably a geranium would count as a filler. And then something nice to trill over the side, like a calibrachoa. This one is a double-flowered mini petunia. So something to spill over the side. So you can mix those up, or you can also do just thrillers and fillers. Or, there's not one type exact recipe, but that just gives you a general guideline. Another thing we were going to talk about is texture of plants. It's nice to mix up the textures. This one here is a great example of a mixture of textures. We have a perennial, actually, coral bells here with a nice unique leaf shape here. The leaves are soft and fuzzy. Right next to this kind of sharp and pointy leaf shape of this begonia that's more of a waxy, shiny leaf. Next to the perennial Jacob's ladder, which is nice and fine textured. This is actually going to get a blue flower on it eventually too. And then we have a hosta with a nice broad shiny leaf. So this is also an example of mixing in some perennials with your container gardens too. So a great example of mixing up leaf shapes, textures, soft fuzzy leaves, fine or coarse leaves. Kind of really gives your containers more dimension and more flow.
You can also add in different types of herbs and veggies into your container garden. So some examples would be these different types of sage. They have a different texture and color type that you can add in. And also don't forget about perennials. I mean, adding in the different perennials to even like an annual container garden is a great addition. You can actually pull it apart and plant it at the end of the season and have the perennials for next year.
So those are some tips for planting your container gardens. Don't forget to have fun and be creative with it. You can even go as far as planting for your favorite sports teams.
If you're short on time or if you're overwhelmed with everything, don't forget we have the service that you can drop your pots off and we can plant it for you. Either way, don't forget to come out and stop by and see us here at Bedners Farm and Greenhouse.